Welcome back. The High Court in Pretoria has rejected a secret 54 billion rand settlement between Eskom and the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA. The court finding that the agreement, conducted behind closed doors, was violation of public policy and constitutional principles. The dispute originated from material calculation errors made by NERSA regarding Eskom's allowable revenue. To correct this, the two entities bypassed the standard regulatory process and negotiated a private settlement of 54 billion rand to be recovered from consumers through increased tariffs. Let's unpack the story. Energy expert Professor Vally Padayachee joins us this morning. Vally, always good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on. So this 54 billion rand settlement, essentially the court saying it's a no-go. It will not be made an order of the court.
Good morning, Michelle, and yes, also wishing you and your viewers a Merry Christmas and season greetings. Yes, the 54 billion rand secretive settlement between Eskom and NERSA has been declared unacceptable, probably null and void, because the court refused to grant a declaratory order which would have made that 54 billion rand settlement legal. Michelle.
So, Vally, how did NERSA and Eskom think that this would fly? That they could make this agreement behind closed doors and that consumers would foot the bill?
Well, maybe just as a disclaimer, I don't talk on behalf of NERSA and Eskom, but my understanding is that because to get to the end point, Eskom had discovered an error in the allocation of the 25, 26, and 26, 27, 27, 28 tariff application, where they indicated that there was a shortfall of 107 billion rand in terms of revenue because of errors by NERSA in terms of depreciation and regulatory asset basis. Eskom couldn't go back to NERSA in terms of the law, I think. For redress, they had to go to the court.
Right.
And in terms of the court had to issue a declaratory order to recover that money. And to get to my final point, so my understanding is that NERSA and of course Eskom, maybe more NERSA, thought it prudent not to go for a public hearing because it's a declaratory order initiative, and they decided to talk inside their corridors secretively, and they came up with that 54 billion rand sum. Michelle. So
I mean, consumers are already, as we know, under an incredible amount of pressure, Vally, as it stands. This 9% annually that would have come into play if indeed this 54 billion was allowed to go ahead would have put consumers under a lot more pressure. There's no clarity on how long the 9% annual increase would have gone on for as well to recover this money.
Well, yes, to answer your question, of course, it would definitely put pressure on the consumers, bearing in mind that before this increase, the electricity price is still high, astronomically high. But to answer your other question, this 9% would have went for 3 years, 25, 26, 26, 27, and 27, 28, because it's a 3-year MYPD 6 regime, Michelle.
So what now for Eskom? How does Eskom recoup this money that was lost through this calculation error?
Well, my understanding of the court order, and this was pursuant to, I think, what AfriForum and the Minerals Council, who I think became, for want of a better word, friends of the court, it's back to the drawing board. So the court has instructed NERSA that they've got to follow due process, follow the law, follow their own internal processes, which includes their own internal assessments. Hopefully they wouldn't make any more mistakes, and they have to take it through a public hearing and consultation with other stakeholders. And but the Catch-22 situation, Michelle, it's no more 54 billion rand that's on the table now. It's the original amount, my take, of 107 billion rand shortfall that Eskom had originally asked for would be back on the table. So if you're looking at 8 or 9% that we looked at with 54 billion rand, my estimation is, if my mathematics is correct, it's going to be more than 8-9%. It could be more like 10-11%. But I stand to be corrected. That needs to be worked out. But I think now 107 billion rand is on the table, and no more 54 billion rand. Michelle.
Vally Padayachee, thanks very much indeed for joining us. And I doubt it's a story that we've heard the last of. 54 billion rand, and this recalculation error is quite a huge one in the scope of Eskom's capabilities.